what's the main thing going on with your life if you feel that you're going over some ideas for a new project or a new phase of your life and you have to reflect on it. You have to write some things down and you have to make a rough draft. I just wanted to know if anybody's got that going on right now, which you would have noticed over the past couple weeks that this is happening. And you've got about a month more to unfold this whole process, is what I would predict since I've been looking at this stuff for many years. Now, it could take longer. I mean, everything happens in stages and everything evolves at any given time. Um, so it isn't that significant to look at things right now, uh, except just maybe an experiment of bigger cycles, more pronounced, you know, um, concise, when to begin and when to end something. It's sort of arbitrary, but I'm just saying, look at around the beginning of this month, like the first week of this month, and see if you're kind of coming up with ideas and how to do things, and then like thinking it through and going through all these motions now for a couple weeks. So if you do have anything, maybe it'll come to mind, maybe you'll become aware of it as I'm telling you what's happening with my experience. My life was like, you know, with a residence, physical residence, trying to get established and, trying to get my head clear on um, what's my purpose, like what do I do for humanity, and what am I going to leave as my legacy? Not not like I'm going to leave it, but what am I creating as a living legacy, my reputation. What's my status going to be built on once I'm looking back and more established, because you always can get more established from the first time you're established with anything, going all the way back to childhood. So at my level of things, I was thinking about my writings. I'm thinking about social stuff. I'm thinking about videos even, and doing more feature movies. And and I'm looking at the home. Now, you've probably seen, if you study the videos, that the locations that I'm in, the environments and the backgrounds are changing over time. And if you don't know, sometimes I'll put out a video like a few days ago I put out something from like a year ago, or I put out a video from 4 years ago with my daughter. Um, and you have to know it's not current, but if you look at all the videos and you see like, oh, it looks like this, and I've got this chair here, so it has to be, from that period and from that place, sort of like investigative or logical deduction on things. Or if you look at my videos from 6 years ago, you'll see something like the surroundings are such that you wouldn't see them anymore. You wouldn't see me in that talking about current events because I'm not there anymore. It's not a home. So presently, the home as what it appears to be right now, with my painted hat, and this is not finished still. It's not yet finished. I wanted to expand. So this is the exciting part. Glad that you bear with me because I'm very long-winded and analytical about everything, especially during a Mercury retrograde. I'm expanding into different levels of existing. Like I need the whole spread, so I'm going like miles and miles and miles out, to where you can't even measure it. I go and I've got my stuff extended out. I've got it to where I'm more moving in a sacred space to create something, because where I have my public meeting place and where I've got like doing this type of office stuff and the high technology, it has its own sacredness, but it's not sufficient for me, and really to have it's not sufficient for a real sacred home. I mean, I don't know if anybody looks at things that way, or if you have a life or experience where you're in the box and the grid, and you're in a lease or something like that. I needed more flexibility so I can expand, so I can explore different sides of my personality. There is literally many different places, the many dots. So if you connect the dots, it's big, it's continental wise. That's why I have to travel so much. But when I narrowed it down to like being regional and trying to establish my sacred area, my temple or shrine, at least, like shrines as far as for my spiritual practice, I came to now to realize that I need to get clear on it. And I'm just wondering if anybody else is going through that, trying to figure out where they need to be, where's their sacred space, what kind of a legacy they're building, what they're getting established, and if in the past 2 weeks you've noticed that you're able to put any of these designs into practice. Are you making motions and doing physical activity to actually get it done? Because I'm finding that every day or every few days I'm able to make some progress, and I feel like this could go on for another couple weeks, and then it'll unfold for the whole full month of that, maybe 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and we'll see what happens to what all this is going to lead to, whether I'll actually have something established. And I mean, I would like to extend the invitation, but it's weird because we don't really meet with each other, I did 777 and a few other YouTube meetups, but there hasn't really been anything to a higher level of getting together, because we're all so spread out, and if you don't do it with your old friends or your neighborhood friends, like how are you going to do it with like a YouTube friend? So I kind of gave up on that idea as being impractical, and if we don't have money to fund an organization, then it's not going to happen. That's why kind of like YouTubia just was, put on the shelf, and many of the new people just kind of went away because they don't want to continue to get disappointed. It's just about that. I don't want to be disappointed either. I'm still the president, but there's nothing really for me to do. There's, people don't do things as a group. I mean, it's just simple. As long as you're doing things for yourself, and possibly a lot of you are still doing videos, like I am. But some of you either weren't doing videos and still not doing videos, or some of you just don't even come on YouTube anymore to do any videos. So that's fine. It's all well and good, but we just want to materialize something in real life instead of just we've gone out to the virtual so much that we get exhausted. I know that I was exhausted from it all. Does that look better? Anyhow, I'm I'm working on the sacred space, and I want people to come there for meditation and silence. I know you can kind of hear that, like, yeah, I've got a lot of disturbances here, and I'm sorry about that, but that's relationship, that's family. Sometimes we don't really have the choice once it gets going. Some things happen, and then you just have to deal with it. I'm sure you've got family stuff and also friends that are just there for a while, and you wonder. But I'm calling out to individuals. If you want to share, fine. I'm going to continue to document this and talk about my process and how it gets created and what it's for. And maybe someday we'll all get to meet. I mean, I've had the experience to be a host for people, and especially to sacred things, self-exploration, and sanctuary. So I'm going to extend that again at another level, at another place, a new place that I'm working on right now. So, oh, last week I invited people to do interviews, and I didn't hear from anybody yet, definitely to when they can do it or anything, but that's all right. Without funding, how much can you really get done? This is not CNN, and I don't look like Anderson Cooper now, do I? Do I look like to you, Anderson Cooper? No. No.